Ooh, this is a good shot. Say hi, Mr. Bunny.
Introductions are absolutely pointless. No one cares about introductions anymore. This is how I made over $50,000 by writing a book about My Chemical Romance. So let me take you back. I feel very handsome. I feel very presentable in this. I'm drinking wine out of a glass cup. I don't have a wine glass. I don't. She's classy. So I've loved emo pretty much all of my life. I've grown up listening to emo. Oh, let's put Mr. Bunny away. Say bye, Mr. Bunny. You're gonna see Mr. Bunny a lot in a lot of videos. Lots of videos you'll see Mr. Bunny. So I grew up listening to emo music, and I have always loved the genre. And so I was so excited in 2022, I believe that was the year, when We Were Young Fest was announced. I was so beyond fucking excited. I was like, oh my God, Paramore, My Chemical Romance, Taking Back Sunday, all these classic bands that I grew up on, and these bands that really have meant a lot to me, and these bands that really have saved my life on multiple occasions. So I was very stoked. I was very excited, and I had some money because I made a nice bit of money from cryptocurrency, but that's another story at another time, and we definitely will get into that as well. I had some extra money, and I was like very excited to go to this festival. And I was going to take my best friend with me. And so I was like, hey, we're going to fucking Vegas. I know that, we've never been to Vegas. We've never even traveled together, but first time for everything. So I said, fuck it, let's fucking do it. Actually, let's trace back a bit. So I made some money from cryptocurrency during the pandemic. Remember when we all got like our stimulus package? We all got like the $1,200. Well, I invested that money, or I took part of that money and my unemployment money, and I put it into crypto. And so anyway, I made some money from that, but I was getting a little too excited, and I just kept giving money away to people because I was a fucking idiot, and I thought I was Mr. Beast. So as my bank account was starting to get smaller and smaller, I said, oh my God, I need to do something to generate money. And I said, you know what? I'm going to start a brand that's going to be about alternative culture and my love for alternative music and alternative culture. And so I launched My Emo Diaries, which originally was called What's My Age Again Parties, but the name just never really sticked. I mean, obviously it was a reference to a Blink-182 song, but nevertheless, I changed it to My Emo Diaries. None of that matters. Anyway, so I started doing these DJ events. I started doing these parties in Chicago that was me basically DJing and playing 2000s alternative music. Sometimes it was like indie rock music, like The Strokes, The White Stripes, Arctic Monkeys, etc. But it was also emo music too. So I would play things like My Chemical Romance, Taking Back Sunday, Fall Out Boy, Panic at the Disco, all that kind of stuff. And so I had an event, and it was a pajama themed 2000s party. All right. So this was 1 month before I was supposed to go to Vegas. I was so excited. I made a video on TikTok promoting this party that was coming up. And when I went to sleep, that video went viral, and I was like, whoa, what in the actual fuck is going on? Because of that video, the event sold out almost instantly. Like, we sold out so quickly, and I was so excited. So the day that the event arrives, me and my very small team, which included one of my best friends, shout out to you, Mikey, wherever you may be. One of my best friends, it was just like me, one of my best friends, Mikey, and like 2 other people who I'm also very cool with. We had a small dedicated team. So we're getting geared up, and we're getting excited, and we're getting ready to do this event. We have all these kids coming. So keep in mind, this event was the same month that When We Were Young Fest was happening. And so I was like, this is a perfect way to go to Vegas, is to have this really successful event where I just get to play 2000s music all night long in my pajamas and just have a fucking good time. And so when we pulled up to the venue, we were greeted with police officer after police officer after police officer. As you can imagine, I was quite confused, quite puzzled, quite bedazzled, and bedazzled. I don't think that's the proper. Anyway, so when we got there, obviously I was very concerned, and in a nutshell, the police told us that they were going to shut down the event because the owner of the venue was running the venue on an expired license, which conveniently he never told me or my team about. So we had all these fucking kids show up, and I had to literally refund everybody. So I was like, oh my God, this fucking sucks. Are you kidding me? So that happened. All right. I lost a bunch of money, whatever. And I was like, all right, well, going to Vegas is going to redeem this really shitty week. Cannot wait to go to Vegas. Cannot wait to see my Kim. Cannot wait to see all these bands that I grew up with. If you are familiar in the world of emo music, pop punk, you already know that When We Were Young was kind of like the Lollapalooza for emo music. Finally, the weekend comes for Vegas. I'm so excited. My best friend is so excited. This is our first time ever going to Vegas. This is our first time traveling together. We're absolutely pumped. We're absolutely fucking stoked. And so we arrived at Vegas, and we had the day one ticket. So the festival, for those of you who are not familiar, the fest had I think it was 2 or 3 days. We had day one. I was like, we are going day one, and we only had day one because that's all we could fucking afford. So we were very excited. The day that the fest was supposed to happen, I remember me and my friend woke up very early, and we were so excited, and we went downstairs at the hotel that we were staying in, which was very interesting because there's casinos, there's slot machines in the hotel, which I had never seen before, and you see all these people in retirement just playing slot machines and smoking cigarettes. It was very interesting, just chain smoking inside the hotel. I don't know. Vegas is different. Vegas is different. So that morning we're just absolutely fucking stoked. And we make a Spotify, they're not sponsoring this. They should, but they're not. We made a Spotify emo playlist to get ourselves excited, and we had the hotel breakfast, which actually was pretty fucking good. And so we're at breakfast. I'm like, oh my God, are you excited? He's like, yeah, are you excited? I'm like, yeah, are you fucking ready? And then as I'm eating my fucking scrambled eggs, and I'm just feeling all of the things, and I'm just so stoked, I get a notification on my phone. And I look at my phone, and it's from When We Were Young Fest. And I'm thinking, oh, they're probably just going to tell us, hey guys, the fest is about to start in an hour. Get ready. Oh no, that's not what happened at all. That's not what fucking happened at all. I look at this notification, and the notification says, I need some wine. If you're at home watching this, take a drink for me. Take a sip. We're drinking together. Even if you're at work, don't do that. I've done that before. That's another video. Don't be like me. So the notification says that, unfortunately, due to weather conditions, When We Were Young Fest has been canceled. Day one has been canceled due to a fucking windstorm. I was absolutely dumbfounded. And I remember looking at my friend, and I didn't even tell him what happened yet. And he just looked at me. He's like, is everything okay? And I said, I don't know how to tell you this. The show just got canceled. When I tell you we were just absolutely dumbfounded and so numb, I just could. We're talking about a festival of 80,000 people, literally from all over, not just from the United States, from all over the world came to this fest. And so you have 80,000 people who are also getting this notification at the same time and reading that the thing that they spent all this money for is no longer happening. And I'm thinking to myself at this point, what did I do wrong in life? Because I just had an event get canceled the same day that I was supposed to run the event from the police because of the illegal venue that was being ran. So then I'm coming to Vegas for a festival, and that also gets canceled the same day that we're supposed to go. And keep in mind, it got canceled maybe an hour. It got canceled probably like an hour before it was supposed to start. So it was like deja vu, and I have anxiety as it is. I'm already like a very like oh kind of person. So I just felt like, what the fuck is going on with my life? I was first of all, Vegas was killing my pockets as it was. So this trip was already killing my pockets, but for it to get canceled, for the show to get canceled while we were there an hour before it was supposed to start, it was just too much. It was literally just too much to bear. That entire day, we just basically sat in the hotel room, literally moping around. And, I started looking on social media and people were like on Twitter sharing clips of like all these like elder millennials or elder emos and also younger emos just walking around Vegas, confused and sad. And honestly, when you think about emo, sirens. I live in Chicago. What are you gonna do? When you think about emo, actually nothing could be more fitting. So, but there's a blessing in disguise, and this is the lesson that I want you guys to learn who's watching this from home or wherever. Is that sometimes there is opportunity in chaos. So my friend, after our anger cooled down, and it took quite a while, he said something just very freely. There was no real thought process to it. There was no type of like, it was like no type of profound conversation. He just casually said, he was just like, you know what? You love this music so much, you should just write a book about this. And I said, that's ridiculous. And I laughed. I was like, who the hell would buy a book from me? Turns out a lot of people. A lot of fucking people. So when we get back to Chicago, I started to think about this idea more. Where I was like, well, I have been writing my whole life. I have released books in the past, and they all have absolutely fucking flopped. But I said, you know what? Maybe I'll give this a go. So I made a TikTok. At this time, I think I had maybe 3,000 followers on TikTok or something like that. And I really can't remember it. Maybe it's 3,000 or something, 5,000. I don't know. Anyway, so I made a video on TikTok. It's this video here. Or here, wherever it may be pointing on your screen. I made this video while I was working my housekeeping job. I was at a client's house, and basically it was a move-out cleaning, and I just had the place to myself. And I was tired after like 4 or 5 hours, so I said, let me just shoot a quick little TikTok, joking that I was making a book about emo music. And I didn't think twice about it. I just thought it was a silly little video. I'm like, no one's going to actually take this that seriously. And I was very wrong. Video went viral, and I was once again dumbfounded. And I said, oh my God, I guess I have to write a fucking book. And so for the next several months, that's exactly what I did. Every single day on TikTok leading up to the book, I was promoting. When I tell you I was going crazy with promotion, you guys, like I was literally posting 5, 7, even sometimes 8 times a day. I was so determined because I had lost everything. I had lost but most of my money was gone. I was getting clients that were canceled. Like everything that could have went wrong that month went wrong. Like it was just like this very stressful period. And I was just like, my back is against the wall. I don't want to work for someone else. I don't want to have someone tell me what time to wake up and what time to eat lunch and all that kind of stuff, because I've been through that and it fucking sucked. That's why I left that shit. I was promoting every day. I had like an email list, and people were signing up for the email list. I was like, oh my God, we got 50 people, 100 people, 200 people. I decided, you know what, I should probably do like pre-orders for this book. And the pre-order sales just blew me away. I was just like, it wasn't life-changing money by any means. And as I'll explain in this video, it was honestly bigger than just about the money. The fact that people were interested in something I had to say or something I had to write, that overwhelmed me with gratitude. Because if you are an artist and you're watching this video, whether you're a writer, a musician, I do both. I'm a writer and a musician. Writer, musician, photographer, dancer, whatever. If you're a creative person, content creator, you know how hard this journey is. You know how crazy this journey is. You know how stressful this journey is. You're filled with so much self-doubt. And to be quite frank, there's no fucking blueprint. There's no fucking blueprint for creative work. It is so zigzag and it's filled with so many up and downs that you really just have to love it to do it, because it can literally drive you crazy. Just so genuinely blessed and grateful that people even cared. Fast forward several months later or so, TikTok decides that they are launching TikTok Shop. To be honest with you, I initially did not pay attention to it much. I was like, okay, whatever. And I started seeing people make money on it. I was like, oh, that's interesting. But it was mainly like a lot of like drop shipping type of stuff. I didn't really see a lot of writers, but then I did start seeing writers. I started seeing a few writers. And I started seeing like, whoa, they are selling pretty well. And this seems to be increasing their readers. This seems to be increasing their sales. I was like, all right, I guess I'll give this a go. And so I started very small. I ordered maybe 20 books, 20 author copies through Amazon KDP, which is Amazon's program for self-published writers or self-published authors that allows you to self-publish a book. It's a program that Amazon has. And one of the features that it has is it allows you to order author copies, which you do have to pay for. And Amazon is incredibly slow as fuck when it comes to shipping your books out. Amazon, or one of your representatives watching, please, for the love of God, get faster. Please ship books faster. Anyway, I ordered 20 books just to be on the safe side. I'm like, I don't want to spend a bunch of money on author copies and no one fucking buys this. And I opened up a second TikTok account, but this was a business account. So I could just promote only my books, only exclusively the book, and that's it, and nothing else. Whereas my main account, I post other things. Anyway, so the first couple of days when I'm posting on this new account, nothing was really happening. And I was like, whatever, at least I fucking tried, right? And so the same friend who I went to Vegas with, we met up. We went out to this like really cool haunted restaurant style place. We're emo. This is an emo account. What did you fucking expect? So I went to this fucking cool restaurant, and I was like, oh, hold on, we're eating whatever, and I'm just like, oh, hold on, let me just post this video really quick, and I didn't think anything of it. As we are eating dinner, out of nowhere, I started getting these notifications. You just sold a book. Congratulations, you just sold a book. You just sold a book. I was dumbfounded. By the time we were done with the dinner, because we got incredibly intoxicated. By the time we left that fucking place, which I think we were literally there for like 7 hours. I want to say we were there for 7 hours. Probably 7 hours, definitely 7, or maybe 8. I don't know. By the time we left, I sold out of all 20 copies. And that doesn't sound like a lot because like, oh, it's just 20. But again, if you are a creative person watching this, and more specifically, if you are a creative person who has tried to make money from your creativity, again, you know how hard it is to even get one customer, to get one person interested. So to get 20 people, for me, it felt like 2 million people. And I was just so excited. And I was like, okay, let me keep this going. So I ordered another shipment of books. And then those sold out. I ordered 60 at that time. And then I was like, okay, this is quite interesting. Keep in mind, this is now 2023. So this is last year. And it was around the holiday time. So it was like late October-ish. And as it got closer and closer to Black Friday, sales went absolutely fucking crazy. When Black Friday happened, by the way, this is the book. Say the Quiet Part Out Loud, a book in 2000s emo. I wrote this book literally in the same place where I'm shooting this video, which is my kitchen/living room. It's on Amazon. It's on my website as well. I prefer people get things off my website because Amazon takes a lot of money. Anyway, when Black Friday happened, literally, I would order 50 to 100 copies because that's what I could afford. So I would have 50 copies come in or 100 copies come in. It literally sold out. I still remember this. It was Black Friday, and I remember I was walking downtown, and it literally sold out. I sold 50 copies in 10 minutes, and I was absolutely dumbfounded. And so things started being absolutely crazy. And I started making like 1 month I made like $3,000, and the other month I made like $4,000. But my best month was in December, the month of Christmas, or as we like to call the month of where we celebrate capitalism at its finest. It's a capitalist society. What are you going to do? That month, I made over $10,000 from something I wrote in my kitchen that started from my friend kind of making a joke by saying you should just write a book. And then I did write a book, and then my life got fucking weird. Crazy thing about TikTok is I did not just get sales from TikTok Shop. I got sales that translated over to Amazon and other platforms as well. One of the craziest things that happened is that the book went #1 on Amazon in its category. When I tell you, I was stunned, shocked, and I felt like, am I being pranked? Is someone going to come in and be like, just kidding, you're not #1. But it was #1 so many times. And I am not the best writer. I'm the first to tell you that. I'm not the best writer. So if you are someone who likes to write and you want to write a book, please do not wait until you think you are perfect or that you are the greatest writer of all time. It's not going to happen. No one cares if you are the greatest writer or not. People care if you are truthful. People care if you are being genuine. People care if you are being sincere. That is what people respond to. They're not responding to, oh, look how fancy he used this metaphor and this fucking sentence structure. And bro, I don't follow half of the advice that most more established authors will probably tell you. You know, even my writing style is all over the fucking place. People were like, oh, you should make an outline. You should do a fucking outline. I don't do any outlines. I literally just kind of free form writing, and I usually write the end first, and then I kind of just work backwards. There is no type of real structure. It's my own like chaotic brain, and it's just like there is a method to the chaos. But I would definitely tell anybody who wants to be a writer or who is a writer and who wants to publish their work, or even those of you who already have published work and maybe it didn't sell, I would honestly tell you social media. I know it's like, oh my God, I don't want to do social media. Well, the other alternative is to leave it in someone else's hands. Leave it in a traditional publisher's hands and wait for them to tell you that you suck after you spent 6 months to a year working on something that you genuinely loved. You can play the validation game, or you can start validating yourself. You can play the validation game, or you can start putting your own self out there and give yourself a fucking shot because you actually fucking deserve it. You could do that. And that's what I did, because I got so tired of not believing in myself. I got so tired of every time I start something, I would either quit or I would half-ass it. I would kind of put myself out there, but not really, because I was afraid of like looking like an idiot, looking like a failure, whatever that is. And it stopped me from doing so many things that if I could go back in time, I would have told myself to get out of your own way and to get out of your head. And so for whoever you are that's watching this video, I am literally begging you to please get out of your own fucking way. If I can do this, I am telling you, and I know it sounds so cliche and it sounds so crazy to be like, oh, of course you're going to say that. I've been writing for over 10 years. Actually, way over 10 years. I've been writing for a very long time. I've been writing since I was literally since I was like 7 or 8 years old. Quite literally. And I published my first book in 2014, and it fucking flopped. And then the next book after that flopped, and then the next book after that flopped, and then the next book after that flopped. So I was just very much in my flopping era. I was in my fucking flopping era. I was in my fucking flopping decade, all right? I was flopping. I was so used to flopping that if I was not flopping, I would be like, why am I not flopping? I need to adjust my chair. I am absolutely telling you, for God's sake, you know what? Me and Mr. Bunny are telling you. Me and Mr. Bunny are telling you, for fucking sake, please believe inside of yourself. Put yourself out there. Social media is hard. Social media marketing is hard. Do it anyway. You will probably suck at it at first. I did. What I left out of the story is that the TikTok account where the book blew up, that's like my ninth TikTok account. I first got on TikTok in 2020 during the pandemic, like most people, and I sucked. And I sucked so much that I made 8 accounts, and they all sucked. This was my last account. I said, I'm going to give this fucking thing one more time, one more chance, and I'm going to really try to learn this. And that is the one that took off. That was the account, My Emo Diaries, which should be on your screen somewhere. I don't know. But that's the account that took off. That is the account that took off. But that never would have happened if I would have given up. So I'm telling you, accept that you may suck at something for a little bit and still do it anyway, because you will eventually figure it out. I promise you will figure it out. And so because of that book, because I kept putting myself out there, I made over $50,000 from one fucking book. You know, obviously it's not money I can retire from, but the fact that my ideas were paying my rent and is paying my rent and is allowing me to have the luxury to even shoot this video to talk to you was my ideas. And I'm telling you to believe in your ideas, because your ideas actually do matter. You have things inside of your head that you can literally bring out into reality, into physical manifestation, a word that gets overused, but nevertheless, into physical manifestation that literally can begin to change your life in positive ways. So I am telling you, finish the book. If it's already finished, publish the book. If it's already published, market the book. If you've already marketed the book and the book still has not sold, keep marketing the book. And then write another book. And then write another book. And then write another. You keep going. And by the way, please, for the love of God, please don't be in the comments being like, oh my God, thanks for the inspiration. You don't need inspiration. You don't need motivation. You need discipline, and you need to just fucking do it. And I'm saying this even to myself, because that was the thing that constantly kept shooting myself in the foot, is I lacked discipline and I lacked belief, and I kept waiting till I felt like it or waiting till I was inspired. The funny thing about depression, and I have depression, the funny thing about depression and imposter syndrome is that it will never allow you to feel ready. There's no point in time ever where you will feel like this is the right time. When I wrote the book, there was nothing going right in my life. I had lost money from the event that got canceled. I had lost thousands of dollars in Vegas from a trip that ultimately wound up being a complete failure. I was behind on rent, so much to the point where I literally had to ask my parents for money, which I never ever do, because we grew up poor as hell. So I tried to always work for my own self. Nothing was going right in my life when I was writing this book. That was not the perfect time. That was not the ideal situation. The ideal situation would have been my bills were paid, life was fucking great, and I had this book to write in my spare time. No. I was still working at my housekeeping job. Like everything bad that could have possibly happened was happening when I was writing the book. Your greatness happens inside of the hole. Your greatness happens inside of the dark place. Fucking go. Fucking climb. Fucking fly. That is my advice to you. Fucking finish what you fucking started. And you don't have to tell family and friends, by the way, because sometimes they can be the biggest haters. Sometimes they can be the fucking biggest haters, all right? And sometimes they're not even haters. Sometimes they just simply don't understand what you're trying to do. If you are around a lot of people who have regular jobs, and there's nothing wrong with that, but if you're around that and you're someone who likes to think outside of the box, it's like speaking a foreign language. They're not going to understand what you're doing. So I would just say, just do it, keep it to yourself, and just quietly work. Quietly put yourself out there. You know, I didn't tell any of my friends that I had a TikTok account. They eventually found out as it got a little bigger, and I'm still not like a huge TikTok person as of this writing. See, writer. I'm a writer. As of this recording, I have like 19,000 followers on TikTok on my main account, and I think I have like 7,000 on my business account. But so many cool things happen that I just never anticipated. Like the manager of like The manager of Say Anything reached out to me. You know, I've had Maddie Healy from the 1975 follow me. I've had like just like a lot of people within the scene like my videos or comment on my videos or whatever. That never would have happened if I didn't put myself out there. Again, the money obviously is great because you should get paid for your creative works. I'm going to make a separate video on that because there just seems to be this stigma that money and art should not go hand in hand, and that is complete BS. But you do learn along the way that it is bigger than the money when you have people reading what you have to say, or people listening to the music that you made, or appreciating the photography that you took, or whatever it is that you do. That means so much to you. I've had people teach my book inside of classrooms, which is crazy. You know, I was like, my whole teenage years, I was living in and out of motels. I was like legit homeless a good chunk of my life. We never had a home. We never had a place to really call home. We literally lived in and out of motels or with relatives. So I don't come from any type of rich anything. I don't come from any kind of connect. I have no connections except for my connection with God and my connection inside of myself and my connection and what I believe God has put me here to do, and what I believe the power that I have within myself. That's my connection. That's kind of all you need. Is to tap into what you already have inside of you. But yeah, so because of that, because I just kept going, I made over $50,000 and roughly 7 to 8 months by just putting myself out there. And I am telling you to please keep going. Anyway, this video's been long. If you watch the whole thing, type in the comments, "Hello, Mr. Bunny," and then I'll know you're a real one. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.